Hey guys, what's going on? It's Tuesday, March 9th. A lot of things are going on in the world today. The president, Biden, passed the stimulus act that's been floating around, floating around since December of November of last year when Trump was trying to get it pushed past the Republican blockade of just giving working people money. It was a issue with the $1,400. It was supposed to be $2,000. It was $600 in December, I think, and hopefully it finishes and people get the $1,400 checks, which a lot of people don't understand. It's the balance of the $600 which you get the $2,000. A lot of people are confused by that. They were like, "Oh, Biden's only giving us $1,400 instead of $2,000 he promised." You're still gonna get the $2,000, but you already got the $600. So that passed, and that's kind of concerning because all the Republicans voted against it or didn't vote for it, and it begs the question that we've been asking since the election last year, since Trump lost that election. What is the Republican Party? What is the point of the Republican Party, right? It's almost like saying, what's the point of the Democratic Party, right? What's the point of any political party in a country? Is to promote politics that enhance the country, enhance the people, right? Sometimes those two things might be conflicting. You might want more jobs, or cheaper energy, and more jobs. Might conflict with raising the minimum wage or making sure workers get health insurance. So it could be a lot of conflicting ideas there, and the point of politics is to bring all those conflicting ideas together and create solutions. It doesn't seem like this is happening with the Republicans. And the Democrats are, in my eyes, I'm a Democratic voter, but in my eyes, the Democratic politicians, I don't feel they're strong enough to just grab the Republican body and just choke them up and say listen, we're doing this for the people, and this has to be done. Things has to be done. There has to be standards here, right? This is the American, this is the United States of America. This is not Myanmar or some third world banana republic country. We have to get this shit together, and I don't think the Democrats do that enough. The Democrats right now, they are the adults in the room, right? That's a fact, right? Biden came into office, and I saw this thing on MSNBC yesterday where they're praising Biden for the stimulus package going forward, and how he's doing all the things in not even the first 100 days. People are getting vaccinated 2 million a day, 3 million a day. So vaccinations are happening. COVID is going down. Jobs are coming back. All these things are not really what Biden promised. But the point of the segment was saying that Biden's not on TV saying, "Oh, I'm doing this, I'm doing that." He's just doing a thing, and his work. It's a saying, good work advertises itself. You don't have to say, "I did this, I did that." It's gonna show itself. And all my Republican friends on Facebook, that's been blah, 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 blah. It's now everyone's quiet. Everyone's getting that $1,400 check now. Everyone's jobs are coming back. Their kids are going back to school. They're getting vaccinated. They go out and eat again. Slowly but surely. I mean, that's coming back, right? And everyone's quiet, right? And people that are against Biden, he's going to ruin the country. It's socialism. It's this, it's that. All of a sudden, everyone's quiet, which is good. I was quiet. A lot of us was quiet when Trump was president. We were just sitting for 4 years, looking that was my expression for 4 years with Trump. So if they want to be quiet and look at Biden "Oh yeah, we're getting good stuff," let them be quiet. I'm not going to argue with them. I never argue with someone that's being quiet, right? I laugh at them, but I wouldn't argue with the quiet person in the room. So moving ahead, I wanted to talk about cancel culture in this specific video. It's misconstrued. I did my Gina Carano thing, and no one's talking about Gina Carano anymore. She was hot 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. Now it's just, and the IMDb thing where everyone's like, "Oh yeah, Gina Carano's the #1 actress in Hollywood." Where is she now on that list? 20, 30, 40, 50 by the time you guys see this video? It's based on people Googling actress. When Gina Carano was fired from Disney, we didn't know why, so I Googled her. Everyone Googled her. A lot of people watch The Mandalorian. A lot of people subscribe to Disney, and they want to know, what's going on here. So they Googled Gina Carano, and because of that, it sort of provoked the IMDb, whatever they use to just put Gina Carano at the top of the list because she's the most searched celebrity for that week or that day. Now she's not, and she's the bottom of the list again. So it's funny enough, the people that's at the top of the list are the Open Behind Her Eyes, that Netflix show, the actress in that. She's at the top of the list, right? Some other movies that's out, King Kong, the actress from King Kong versus Godzilla, she's on that list. And some other few actresses that's in movies right now that's big, that everyone's talking about. So cancel culture didn't work for Gina Carano, right? She got fired because, and for me, that I don't think that was cancel culture. Like my point was, if I go to work butt naked, it's gonna offend all the people that work with me, right? I get fired from my job because I'm breaking a rule. Some of the rules might not be written on the wall. That rule isn't in our employee handbook that you can't come in naked. But if I do it, I'm gonna get fired because it's a social. It's as adults we have these social rules that we don't write down. It's just things we don't do, right? Like I can't go to work naked. I can't go on my Twitter as a celebrity where everyone's gonna read my Twitter. And when celebrities use Twitter or Facebook or Instagram, it's not a private account, right? If you're in movies or if you're in radio or sports and you tweet or say something and put it out there, you have millions of people that's gonna see this, and then tens of millions and hundreds of millions, then you're talking about the whole planet and seeing what you wrote. It's public. It's like going and speaking publicly. And if I speak publicly about Nazis and being a Republican and Trump and this and that, and it gets me fired because I'm insulting people's culture and people's backgrounds and people's history. That's what that is. That's insulting someone else's history, right? If I'm a white, blonde, blue-eyed guy, I'm talking about, oh, slavery don't exist. If Kanye West was white, right, and blonde and blue-eyed, and he was saying all that crap about slavery was a choice, he'd have been canceled and put under the ground, right? Only because he's black, he got to say that crap. And there's a funny, I think an SNL skit or some skit I saw made fun of Kanye West being able to say all the nonsense he says, but if he was a white guy, it won't happen. So you have to look at cancel culture, or what you consider cancel culture. You have to look at it in certain perspectives, right? Now the royal family, going off of what my video yesterday with Meghan Markle, I saw a lot of backlash against Meghan and Harry, and I don't understand that. I always said, like, if it doesn't concern you, right? If you don't experience racism or you don't experience any of the thing Meghan and Harry saw or complaining about, if you don't experience that and you're white and your life is nice and comfortable in the suburbs and you don't experience any of that, you're in a British countryside and you love the royal family and this is happening over there and it doesn't concern you, you cannot criticize them, right? Or you cannot defend the British family for what they're doing to those people if they're not doing it to you, right? If my neighbor next door is getting raped by the neighbor on that side of me, right? Who am I to say, oh yeah, I like that neighbor on that side. I don't know what's wrong with them. They got raped. I don't know. I don't know. That's wrong. But I can't say anything because it has nothing concern me, right? But if I'm also getting raped by the neighbor over there, or, and the neighbor over there got raped or harassed, and I'm like, oh yeah, that happens all the time. That gotta stop, right? Then I have a voice in the conversation, right? But if I'm on the other side of the fence and I don't see this or I don't hear it, I have no voice in the conversation. I could just spectate and maybe comment. And my comments should be objectives or subjective. It shouldn't be like, my comments shouldn't be some golden rule of, oh yeah, they're canceling the British royal family because they don't like them, or that doesn't hold water, right? It's that you put it in context and then it doesn't become cancel culture. It becomes like I'm defending myself, right? It kind of reminds me of those old movies. I was watching this Van Damme movie from, I think it was 2000 something. It's called In Hell. It was on YouTube. I was flipping through YouTube and I saw movies now apparently on YouTube. And in the movie, he's American in a Russian prison. It's one of those weird action movies. It's not really an action movie, but he's American in a Russian prison. And he's with like two other Americans, right? A younger kid is Van Damme, Jean-Claude Van Damme, and then an older American guy in a wheelchair who looks out for them because they're new in prison, they don't know anything. And the prison is obviously ran or controlled by the Russian mob, a Russian mafia. And Van Damme, like, he bumps into a guy the first day of prison. He bumps into a guy first day of prison, and it just gets out of hand, and they pick and poor Van Damme, and for some reason Van Damme in this movie, he's not the action star, or he doesn't know any karate or anything like that, or kung fu. So they're picking him the whole movie, and in one scene, I think, he's working. They do working a railroad somewhere in Russia, and he's working, and the Russian guys in the prison with him come up, and they just like whack him with a shovel, and he falls down. Van Damme gets up, and he's trying to defend himself. He can't fight in the movie. It's weird to see a movie with Van Damme who can't fight. You could put anyone else in that movie, but why put Van Damme in a role where he's not fighting or using his abilities? So he tries to fight him, and then the fight breaks out, and then the security guards come, who's also Russian. So break it up, break it up, break it up. And the Russian mafia guys, who's picking on Van Damme, obviously picking on him, what's going on? Oh, he insulted us. So all of them get punished kind of in a way, right? Now imagine if you're Van Damme in that situation, right? You'd be like, I'm getting picked on, why am I getting punished? That needs to stop. I want the Russian mafia out of this prison. I want to stop them. And the rest of the movie, he continues, he does that, right? Now, you could rename that movie Cancel Culture, if that's what you want to say. Because he's in Russia, that's their culture, and it's affecting him in prison in a negative way. And he wants that to stop. And he stops it. It takes the whole movie, but he stops it. Is that cancel culture? Is he canceling the Russian mafia or the way they do things in Russia? No, he's not. He's protecting himself in a place that he's in, right? Just like the way Meghan has a right to protect her and her family, Harry has a right to protect themselves and the family. Even if we don't believe it, if the Russian mafia in a prison isn't picking on me, but they're picking on someone else, I'm just walking away, mind my business. I'm not going to say, oh yeah, the Russian mafia is right. The Russian mafia, why are they going to cancel them? They get me cigarettes, or I benefit from them bullying other people, but they don't bully me. I benefit from their system of bullying new inmates. It doesn't affect me. So what voice do I have to say to speak against Van Damme if he's trying to cancel something that's affecting him? And that is where cancel culture gets misconstrued, because the people that benefit from the culture that people like me are trying to cancel or change, not even cancel, it's like Hillary Clinton just said, it's 2021. I saw Hillary in a BBC interview. It's 2021, why is this happening about skin color and how dark the babies get? Why is that happening in 2021, right? I don't care if the janitor at the Buckingham Palace said that, or the Queen of England said that. It doesn't need to be said. And because it's heard by Meghan and Harry, because it's heard by them, it becomes a problem, it becomes an issue for me, for Meghan, for Harry, for people of color. It becomes an issue for us, right? You could say that and we don't hear it, it's fine, we go on. I know you guys, I know what they think, and my wife even said, why is everyone such surprised? Why is this bombshell? You could tell me, I've never been to Buckingham Palace, but you could tell me, I know they're racist in there, I know they're biased, or I know they're rather sleep with each other than have a black person in their family. They'd rather see Harry have sex with his cousin or sister before a black person. I could have told you that, so my wife says that. So she's not surprised, and in some regards, no one's really surprised by this, but I think when you put babies in there and children, and these are nice people, right? I don't know them personally, but they don't seem like bad people, right? If I'm a father and my son marries someone like a Meghan, or my daughter marries a Harry, and these are not bad people. I mean, Harry's not out there drinking, partying, smoking, he's not taking over countries or spewing angry, he's not like that. And Meghan is, I don't know her, but she don't seem like that. So to see them being affected in a way that affects non-wealthy people of color that live every day and see this every day, we're with them. And I think cancel culture, you have to look at it in perspective, right? If the culture that's being canceled, if you're benefiting from something that the other half of the planet wants to cancel, right? Right now in the Philippines, all the PPEs that we take off and throw away is washing up in Manila, the coast, in the Philippines, right? It's washing up over there. BBC did this news thing in the radio this morning. People swimming in the Philippines are coming out with masks hanging off their body and stuff like that. That we, New Yorkers, people in California, people in England, people in first world country, that we throw away. And just, it goes wherever it goes, we don't know, we don't care, but it's affecting them. So if they have a right to say, listen, first world country or other countries, stop doing that, it's messing us up, you gotta stop that. we gotta stop it, right? I'm not gonna say, oh, they're canceling our culture, wearing masks and protecting ourselves from COVID. It's affecting them. So they, it's like we live in a planet with other people, and you have to understand that. If something's being sought to be canceled, even if you love it or you benefit it, just look at this different perspective before you write it off as cancel culture, right? And that's my message for today. It's cancel culture is not. It's just a name to give something that some people don't like, right? Dr. Seuss. It was Dr. Seuss a week ago. Now it's the Royal Family this week, and you look at each case, and you can make a case for the cancellation of said things. And it's not a cancellation, but it's more of a evolution of these ideas and these thoughts, right? Dr. Seuss was written in the 40s, the 30s, the 50s. It's 2021. It's a new. We have iPads now. We have computers. We have cars. We have planes. We have things we didn't have in the 1930s or the 20s or the 1800s, right? So we have a new way of thinking, right? So why don't we evolve with our tools, evolve with our technology, evolve with our comfort of living, right? We don't need slaves to pick cotton anymore to be rich, right? We don't need black people to not live in our neighborhoods anymore to feel safe or feel like, oh, they can't live here, or is it going to be the neighbors? We don't need that anymore. It doesn't happen anymore. So why are we still carrying over these biases from our grandparents into our kids' lives, right? It's like you take shit from one place and put shit in another place. You want to bring the shit with you, or just leave that in the past. That's how I look at this cancel culture. It's not cancel culture, but it's a filtering of all the shit from history that we don't want going forward for our kids, right? I don't want my kids, if my kids are Jewish, I don't want to hear Gina Carano's silly, idiotic Twitter post about Nazis being like Republican voters, right? Or Jewish victims of Nazis being like Republican voters. I don't want to hear that shit. I don't want my kids to hear that. So filter that out. It's more of a filter, right? If my daughter marries the next prince or someone like that, I don't want her to hear what color is her baby gonna be, right? I don't want to hear that. That needs to be canceled. That needs to be end. There's grown-ups in the room. We have to end that, right? So that's kind of my take on that, right? We don't want to carry shit from yesterday to tomorrow.